Okay, first example of how to graph a reciprocal function. We're going to do 2 cosecant of theta over 4 plus pi over 2. Okay, the very first thing you need to do is identify what it's the reciprocal of, right? So if you look at cosecant, you know that cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. Okay, so you have to make sure that's the very first thing you look at because you're going to need that. Okay, all of this stuff basically stays exactly the same as it did before, right? Your amplitude is 2, your k is 1/4. Okay, now when you come to the period, you go, oh, well, wait, what do I do for period? Remember, for sine and cosine, it was 2 pi over k. For tangent, it's pi over k. Well, what about cosecant and secant and cotangent? Well, think about it, right? If cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine, it's going to have the same exact properties, period, really, as the sine. So it's going to be 2 pi over k, which is 1/4, and that's going to give you 8 pi. Okay, your increments is going to be your period divided by 4, and that's 2 pi. Your phase shift is what's in the parentheses divided by k. Yes, I yelled, sort of, but only because you guys are still, some of you are still not doing that. And if you're not going to divide by k, you're going to screw up. And you're going to lose a lot of points on your test with that kind of stuff. So just be careful. All right, make sure you guys are dividing by k. All right, let's move that down. There is no vertical shift anyway. Okay, so labeling. Okay, some of us are still struggling with the labeling of the x and y axis a little bit. The whole reason I have you do this, find the increments, is so that you can use them to label. If you don't use them, it's not like I'm having you find random stuff that for no reason. The reason you're finding this is because that is what you're going to use on your x-axis, right? So we're going to count by 2 pi. So we got 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, and the negatives. Okay, we have an amplitude of 2, so I'll just go once. Okay, now, table of values. Again, not everybody is doing this. You really should. It is extremely helpful. Plus then I get to see what you were trying to do, and I can give you credit if you screw up a little bit, but otherwise it's impossible for me to tell sometimes. So, okay, so what do we do? How do we do this? Well, remember, we're looking at the sine. So write out your sine. Okay, that's the sine. Okay, we don't want to use those actual values because those are the sine values, but we do want to use the reciprocals of those, right? So the undefined, 1, undefined, -1, undefined, 1, undefined, -1, undefined, right? You're going to list those all out. If you really want, you don't really technically have to remember that it's the reciprocal of sine and the sine values. If you want to just remember what the pattern is for cosecant, have at it. Okay, it's just, but sometimes it's easier for people just to remember to do sine because it's you already know it and you know reciprocals. Okay, you just rather have one less thing to remember, but again, that's up to you. Okay, so now you're plugging in our phase shift, right? Oop, I didn't pay attention to that. We're going left 2 pi, so -2 pi should be our first value that we plug in, right? And remember, you're starting here in the middle, so that's going to be undefined. Then you're plugging in, at 0, you're going to be plugging in the 1. Okay, so that's going to be 2 times 1 is 2. Then at 2 pi, you're undefined. At 4 pi, you're plugging in -1. Then undefined. Okay, technically if you want to go again, right, it would be, what would come after this undefined, it would be the 1. If you want to do it that way. Okay, so then you gotta plot your points. At negative 2 pi, you're undefined. At 0, we're at 2. At 2 pi, we're undefined. At 4 pi, we're at negative 2. Undefined, and at 8 pi, we are at 2. Okay. Again, we're still struggling with the going left part of it. You guys are pretty much at this point, you're good going this way, it's going this way again that we're struggling with. Again, that's why you wrote this all out, right? At negative 2 pi, you plugged in undefined, or you used undefined. So as we move to the left on the graph, move to the left in the pattern. Negative 4 pi, you're going to plug in a negative 1, which is going to give you negative 2. Move to the left again, at negative 6 pi, undefined. Move to the left again, negative 8 pi, you're at 1. Okay, and now, so like some people kind of get confused about what to do now. So again, if you want to kind of sketch out a sine graph, you can, but they're always just U's that are facing, like they're kind of alternating going up and down. It looks like that, okay? One of the main big characteristics that you're always going to see in every graph is that there is going to be this gap here in the middle. Okay, that can kind of help you too figure out which way the U's go. Okay, you're never going to see the graph look like this. It's never going to have this. It's never going to like overlap like that. Okay, so that's wrong. You're always going to have this gap in the middle, and that's going to help you figure out which way the U's go. All right, we're going to do a couple more in the other videos.